Okay, welcome to Chapter 1, Video 3. This will be the last video for Chapter 1, and as you may have heard previously in the overview, this game I'm going to explain right now is by far the student's favorite game. However, it is the game that requires the most skill in showing the children. So what I said in the overview video, and I'll say it again now, is that the games that we did so far, which were the matching game and the Faxter game and the Take 10 game, that would be great for every student in the class. And this game right here, the Shipster game, is going to be great for all students at some point. But it might come too early for some students. It can be used very well as an enrichment activity. So let's say that you're going along, the students are playing all the games, and a few of them, let's say 2 or 4 or 5, 7 kids are really doing well with these number plays. They can spot them very easily, and they need a challenge. Well, then you can introduce this game, and it's called the Shipster game. And it's basically based off the battleship game that we used to play when we were children. And basically, I have 3 numbers in my ship, and I'm trying, and you have 3 numbers, and my opponent has 3 numbers in their ship, and I'm trying to guess their numbers before they guess my 3 numbers, and whoever guesses them first sinks the other person's ship and wins the game. So basically, what they do is they start off and they can pick any number from 1 to 10, and they fill those numbers into the ship. So let's say that they pick the numbers, I don't know, 2, 7, and 8. Now, when they do it, they always fill the numbers in their ship from smallest to greatest. So it would go 2, 7, 8. They have to go in order. You'll see why in a minute. Now, this is a game sheet. The way that it works is each team, which can be 1 person or 2 or more, basically gets a manila folder. And basically what you're going to do is put that on a table and then fold up one side of it. And what that will do is create a barrier so that my opponent cannot see my sheet. I'm going to take my sheet and I'm going to lay it in the manila folder, but my opponent won't be able to see it because they'll be blocked by the part of the manila folder that's standing up. Each player has their own sheet. So I'm going to jump to this screen, and what I did was try to squish on here 2 opponents' sheets. This is player 1 over here on the left and player 2 on the right. I'll try to go nice and slow and explain it. What did player 1 pick? I think it was like 2, 7, and 8. Now, my opponent cannot see these 3 numbers I put in my ship because I have my manila folder standing up. Meanwhile, my opponent, they pick 3 numbers. So let's say they pick the numbers 1, let's do 9. Let's make that 9 better. And 10. So we start out the game. Player 1 goes first. And what they do is they try to guess what numbers are in the other opponent's boat. So what they do is they look down here and they say, I think you have 4. So they color this in and they say, I guess 4. Okay, they say to player B, I think you have 4. Player B looks in their ship and says, miss, because they don't have that number in their ship. So now it's player 2's turn. So player 2 says, I think you have 7. So let me see, I need a whole top row and 2 more right here. Let me color it in. That's 7. And they say, okay, I think you have 7. And player 2 looks down, or player 1 looks in their ship and says, hit, you got a hit. That's one of my numbers. Player 2 is going to say, is it your biggest number, your smallest number, or your middle number? And this is why. Player 1 says, that's my middle number. So then what they do is player 2 puts it in their opponent's ship right here. They know that there's a 7, that their opponent has 1 number bigger than 7 and 1 number smaller than 7. Okay? Now, it goes back to player 1. Player 1 says, all right, this time I think you have 9. So they mark all but 1 right here, 9. And they write 9 on their sheet so they can keep track of all their guesses. And they say, I think you have 9. Player B looks in there and says, hit. So player 1 says, well, is it your smallest, your biggest, or your middle? And they say, it's your middle. It's my middle. So then they put that in here. Now, player 1, if they're clever, they're going to say, I have a 9 here. and I only have one space here. So there's only one number left that can be bigger than 9. So next guess, I'm going to guess 10 for sure. Okay, and basically by using logic, sometimes students can eliminate certain numbers. But the idea is it goes back and forth until someone gets all three numbers. So let's say that this person, player 1, has their 9. Let's say eventually they got the 1. Then they guess the 10 and they say, we guess 10. And the player says, yes, that's a hit. Well, what they say is they don't say hit on the third one. They say, you sank my battleship. So basically, it just goes back and forth, guessing over and over again until someone gets all three numbers on their opponent and it sinks their ship. And as I said, this is a game that I've had students literally sit and play for a half hour, 45 minutes. They'll just keep playing this over and over again. The nice thing is every single chapter has a battleship game like this. Sometimes these are our template numbers, but then there's doubles has a game like this. 10 more has, every family has numbers exactly like this. So they can play this game many times. But you may want to start off by only playing it. What I usually do is I sit down, I have 3 students on one side of the table, 3 on the other. I tell them to pick their numbers. They do that as a team. I walk back and forth, make sure that they have them in order. Then I say, okay, team 1, go first. Then I go over and I look at team 2 and make sure they say either hit or miss if it's correct. If it's a hit, I make sure team 1 fills it in correctly. And basically, I keep walking back and forth. Now, at this time, of course, the rest of the class is playing one of the easier games that they're already comfortable with. So I'm freed up to do this. This is kind of an enrichment game, provides differentiation. This will definitely challenge kids. And like I said, they definitely enjoy playing this game. And when they say, you sank my battleship, there's definitely usually a lot of excitement in the room. So let me get my camera, and that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you.